Welcome to Empires in English. Let's unlock your future. Start thinking and living in English. Subscribe and let's begin.
What is the real reason you freeze, pause, and hesitate when someone asks you a question in English? Let's look at what actually happens inside your brain in that split second. Someone asks you a simple question. What are your plans for the weekend? Instead of answering immediately, your brain begins a slow, exhausting, four-step translation cycle. Step 1. You hear the English words, and your brain translates them into your native language so you can understand the meaning. Step 2. You think of your answer in your native language. Step 3. Your brain tries to translate your native answer word by word into English, searching for vocabulary and running through grammar rules. And step 4. You finally open your mouth to speak. By the time you complete all 4 steps, 5 or 6 seconds of awkward silence have passed. You feel anxious, your brain feels overloaded, and whatever you say ends up sounding stiff, unnatural, and robotic. This 4-step mental translation cycle is the single biggest bottleneck in language learning. Here is the fundamental truth about human speech. You cannot achieve true fluency if you are translating in your head. Real-world conversation happens far too fast for translation. You must learn how to connect your thoughts directly to English words without passing through your native language first. Today, we are going to eliminate that translation bottleneck permanently. We will break down the exact, step-by-step system to rewire your brain so that you can think in English directly, spontaneously, and effortlessly. We are going to cover 4 practical training phases today. First, the neuroscience of mental translation, why your brain defaults to your mother tongue, and how neural plasticity works. Second, the 4-stage mental rewiring ladder, a progressive framework taking you from single-word labeling to full subconscious thinking. Third, the internal dialogue protocol, how to transform your silent thoughts without spending a penny. And fourth, 3 environmental shifts to eliminate your native language filter forever. Grab your notebook, sit comfortably, and let's train your brain to think directly in English. Let's begin by understanding why mental translation happens and why it is so difficult to stop. Your brain is an efficiency machine. For 20, 30, or 40 years, your native language has been the operating system of your mind. Every concept, emotion, object, and memory has been mapped to words in your mother tongue. When you learn English in a traditional classroom, teachers usually teach through translation. They show you an English word, and they give you the translation in your native language. Because of that training, your brain builds an indirect neural pathway. Concept native word English word. Look at that pathway. It has an unnecessary middleman, your native language. Every time you want to say, apple, your brain visualizes the fruit, pulls up your native word, and then converts it to apple. Our goal today is to cut out that middleman entirely. We want to build a direct neural bridge. Concept English word. When you see an apple, you shouldn't think of your native word at all. The visual image of the red fruit should trigger the English word, apple, instantly. How do we build this direct neural bridge? We use the 4-stage mental rewiring ladder. Let's climb the ladder step by step. Stage 1. The object labeling stage, level, beginner. This is the foundation of direct thinking. In this stage, your goal is to eliminate translation for physical, tangible objects in your everyday environment. Look around the room you are sitting in right now. Instead of looking at an object and thinking of its name in your native language, silently label everything in English as your eyes move across the room. Desk, laptop, water bottle, curtain, ceiling fan, notebook, window. Do this while walking down the street, while riding the train, or while waiting in line at the grocery store. When you see a tree, don't translate, just mentally tag it. Tree. When you see a dog, dog. When you see a red car, red car. What is happening during stage 1? You are training your visual cortex to trigger English nouns directly from visual stimuli, bypassing your native language vocabulary bank completely. Spend 3 to 5 days practicing stage 1 until your immediate physical surroundings automatically trigger English labels. Now let's move to stage 2. The action and phrase chunking stage, level, intermediate. Once single nouns become automatic, it is time to upgrade from individual words to short phrases and actions. Instead of just labeling static objects, start describing actions and simple observations using 2 to 4 word chunks. For example, when you are doing your morning routine, instead of just coffee, think pouring coffee. Instead of just keys, think grabbing my keys. Instead of just door, think locking the front door. When you are outside, the bus is arriving. It's getting chilly outside. Traffic is moving slowly. The sun is setting. Notice what we are doing here. We are not writing essays. We are simply attaching short, functional English chunks directly to our real-time physical actions. This trains your motor cortex and sensory perception to link directly with English verbs, prepositions, and adverbs. Now let's step up to stage 3. The internal monologue stage, level, advanced. This is where true direct thinking takes root. Every human being has an internal voice, a constant stream of silent thoughts running through their mind throughout the day. You plan your schedule, you worry about tasks, you make choices, and you reflect on conversations. In stage 3, you intentionally switch the language of your internal monologue to English for designated periods during the day. How do you do this without getting mentally overwhelmed? You use the 5-minute thought block technique. Pick 3 specific moments during your day, for example, during your morning shower, during your lunch break, and while washing the dishes after dinner. During those 5 minutes, make an absolute rule. Every silent thought must be formed in English. What does this sound like in practice? Okay, what do I need to finish before 2 p.m.? First, I have to reply to that email from my supervisor. Then I need to review the slide deck. After that, I should grab a quick lunch. Maybe a chicken sandwich or a salad. A salad would be healthier. Look at that internal monologue. It is simple, natural, and continuous. If you don't know a specific word while thinking, do not stop and switch back to your native language. Use the circumlocution rule. Describe the missing word using simple English words that you already know. If you forget the word colleague, think the person who works with me. If you forget the word refrigerator, think the cold box in the kitchen where food stays fresh. This forces your brain to remain inside the English neural network instead of falling back on your native language safety net. Now let's climb to stage 4. The dual perspective scenario simulation, level, mastery. This is the highest level of mental rewiring. In stage 4, you use your imagination to simulate real conversations, debates, and future scenarios completely in English inside your head. Before you enter a meeting, go on an interview, or attend a social gathering, run a two-way mental simulation. Imagine someone asking you a question, and formulate your answer in English. Then imagine their counterargument, and formulate your response to that counterargument. Let's look at an example. Imagine you are preparing for a performance review or project update. In your mind, simulate the conversation. Question in your head. What were the main challenges your team faced during this quarter? Your answer in your head. Our biggest hurdle was adapting to the new software update. It delayed our deployment by 2 weeks. However, we conducted additional training sessions, and productivity actually increased by 20% the following month. Follow-up question in your head. How are you ensuring this won't happen next quarter? Your response in your head. We are implementing a mandatory pre-launch testing phase before any system update is rolled out. When you practice stage for simulations, you are preloading English sentence structures, vocabulary, and logical connectors into your working memory. When you eventually step into the real conversation, you will not hesitate or search for words because your brain has already lived through and spoken that exact conversation multiple times in your imagination. Now that you have the 4-stage mental rewiring ladder, let's explore 3 environmental shifts that will accelerate your progress and eliminate your native language filter permanently. Environmental shift number 1. Switch your digital devices to English. Think about how many hours a day you look at your smartphone, laptop, tablet, and smart TV. If your operating systems, apps, social media interfaces, and navigation GPS are set to your native language, you are constantly feeding your brain native language triggers. Change the language settings on your phone, computer, and favorite apps to English today. When your phone says notifications, settings, battery low, swipe to unlock, and update available in English, your subconscious mind absorbs dozens of functional English terms daily without any conscious study effort. Environmental shift number 2. Use a monolingual English-to-English dictionary. Whenever you encounter an unfamiliar English word, what do you usually do? You open Google Translate or a bilingual dictionary and look up the translation in your native language. Stop doing this immediately. When you use a bilingual dictionary, you are actively reinforcing the translation habit. You are telling your brain, I cannot understand this English concept unless I see its native language equivalent. Switch to a learner's English-to-English dictionary, such as Oxford Learner's Dictionary, Cambridge Dictionary, or Merriam-Webster Learners. When you look up an unfamiliar word like hesitate, you will see the English definition. To pause before saying or doing something because you are nervous or not sure. Look at what happens. You learn the meaning of the new word using simple, natural English words that you already know. You keep your brain operating entirely inside the English language bubble. Environmental shift number 3. The first thought in the morning anchor. The first 5 minutes after you wake up in the morning are when your subconscious mind is most receptive to habit formation. Before you check your phone, before you get out of bed, take 60 seconds to set your mental language for the day. Speak 3 simple thoughts to yourself in English. Good morning. Today is going to be a productive day. I have a lot to accomplish, and I am ready to get started. This small 60-second ritual acts as an anchor, signaling to your brain that English is an active, living part of your everyday consciousness. Let's do a complete recap of our masterclass on how to think directly in English. Remember, mental translation is a slow 4-step cycle that causes brain freeze and awkward pauses. We must replace it with a direct bridge from concept to English. Climb the 4-stage mental rewiring ladder. Stage 1. Object labeling. Tag your physical environment with English nouns. Stage 2. Phrase chunking. Attach action verbs and prepositions to your daily movements. Stage 3. Internal monologue. Switch your silent inner thoughts to English for 5-minute blocks, using circumlocution when you forget a word. Stage 4. Dual perspective simulation. Rehearse real 2-way conversations in your mind before they happen. And support your practice with the 3 environmental shifts. Switch your devices to English, use an English-to-English dictionary, and anchor your morning with 60 seconds of English thought. Thinking in English is not a rare talent reserved for people raised in bilingual households. It is a physical neural habit that you build day by day, thought by thought. Start with stage 1 right now. Look at 3 objects around you, name them in English, and take that first decisive step toward effortless, direct fluency. If you found tremendous clarity and power in this breakdown, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more authentic English mastery systems, and leave a comment below. What is one thought you just had in English while watching this video? Thank you for watching. Rewire your mind, think with clarity, and I will see you in the next video.